Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Season 4, Episode 17 of the Classic Wrestling Series. People, we are 2 episodes away from Episode 200. What the fuck? Holy shit. I actually can't wait for Episode 200. It's an episode I haven't seen in a while, and it's a show that I am actually looking forward to actually watching. So, that is in the future. That's in 2 weeks' time, actually. So, what is the episode we are watching tonight? Well, you know what? I've been in the mood for survival. So why don't we check out a Survivor Series? We haven't actually checked one out in a while. So, why don't we check out Survivor Series 2004? I think we will. So, this is the show where the main event is Team Randy versus Team Triple H. Whoever wins gets 4 weeks of Raw to do whatever they want for the teams. So, the Team Orton is Randy Orton, 2004 Royal Rumble winner, Chris Jericho and Maven, and Team Triple H is Triple H, Batista, Edge, and Gene Snitsky. So, that is our main event to look forward to. So, with that being said, let's kick things off with a fatal 4-way Cruiserweight Championship match. It is Rey Mysterio versus Billy Kidman versus Chavo Guerrero versus the champion Spike Dudley. Let's get to this one. So we just had a Cruiserweight Championship fatal 4-way match between Billy Kidman, Rey Mysterio, Chavo Guerrero, and Spike Dudley. This was fun. A little bit of a miscommunication between Rey and Chavo going into the seesaw flip move into the pin. But you know, it is rare that those two do kind of mistime that thing. It is very rare that they do it. But it was still a good, you know, this was still a fun matchup. You've got Spike being the chicken shit heel, tries to do a plunger out the ring, and Rey and Chavo just go, whoop, and just separate. That was funny as fuck. Billy Kidman as a heel, it's one of those things where it's like, at the time, it was a bit weird because Kidman was so much better as a face. But as a heel, he's okay here. Spike gets the win after a quick pin on Chavo Guerrero. So, our next matchup is going to be Shelton Benjamin versus Christian for the Intercontinental Championship. Let's get to this one. So we just Christian versus Shelton Benjamin for the Intercontinental Championship. This was a fun matchup. I enjoyed it. Shelton's athleticism and wrestling credibility versus Christian cunningness and sly behaviors. This was great. I loved this match. This was an entertaining matchup. Shelton gets the win with a beautiful T-bone suplex. I forget just how good he can perform that T-bone. And the fact that he was with Brock when they were going up in the ranks as well. That was just... oh, it was a beautiful match. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful matchup. Absolutely awesome. Really great match. Damn, it's 1-0 to Raw so far. Raw and SmackDown are going head-to-head tonight for brand supremacy. I gotta admit, I did enjoy the Fatal 4-Way, but I enjoyed the Intercontinental title match a little bit more, so it's 1-0 to Raw. Now we have got Team Angle, consisting of Kurt Angle, Carlito Caribbean Cole, my god, they need to change that name to just Carlito. Luther Reigns and Mark Jindrak taking on Team Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero, Big Show, Mr. Cena, whatever happened to this John Cena guy, don't know, and Rob Van Dam. Let's get to this matchup. So we just had Team Guerrero taking on Team Angle in a traditional Survivor Series matchup. I've just also double checked, and there's only 3 Raw matches on the card, and one of them is I believe it was an Angle leading into the Trish versus Lita storyline that was going on at the time. We'll get to that later. So it might be a little bit difficult to say 2-1 and stuff like that. But we will be comparing the Survivor Series elimination match, the men and the Raw and SmackDown the Raw and SmackDown Survivor Series matches. So Team Guerrero versus Team Angle. This was good. This was Cena's return from injury after he had a staph infection. They wove it into the storyline because basically Cena got the staph infection, so they put the storyline up as Jesus stabbed Cena in the kidney with whilst at a nightclub, so then Cena could go and recover from the staph infection, and then Cena comes back at this show on, I think it was at Armageddon, or it was on the November 18th episode of SmackDown. I can't remember which one it was. Cena regained the US belt after defeating Carlito. So this was a fun matchup. It was entertaining. It was really good. It was, and Cena came back, brawled with Carlito. He buggered off. Then let's just get to the eliminations very quickly. So yeah, that happened. RVD was then eliminated by a cheeky roll-up from Kurt Angle. Mark Jindrak was then eliminated by Eddie Guerrero via roll-up. Luther Reigns got chokeslammed by Big Show, and then Angle. Cena hit the FU, Eddie hit the Frog Splash, and then Big Show pinned Angle for the win. So that was a fun little matchup. It was entertaining. So we are going to be carrying on with our next matchup, which is going to be, I think it's Undertaker versus Heidenreich, I think, if I remember. So let's get to that one. So I just had the Undertaker versus Heidenreich, and this wasn't bad. Like, I forgot that Heidenreich was okay. He's not the best, do not get me wrong, but this match wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. Undertaker wins with the tombstone, of course. I do like Brian Hebner as well. Whenever Taker tried, threatened him, he just jumps out the ring and just be like, "It's the fucking Undertaker! You go in there and deal with him," to Paul Heyman, who was out with Heidenreich. I like that little touch, especially from Hebner. It was really good. So our next matchup is going to be Trish versus Lita for the Women's Championship. Let's get to this one. So we just had Trish versus Lita. This was a very quick matchup. This was basically just carrying on with the feud from previously. Lita was marrying Kane, that whole storyline with Kane and Matt Hardy. Trish comes out wearing what she wore, and then this match happens and it just ends in a disqualification. Kind of suckage because we know these two can actually have a good wrestling match, but it kind of fuels the storyline a little bit more as well with Trish and Lita's hatred for each other, if you get my drift on that one. So yeah, it was okay. It was a match that will lead into a future storyline, but it's one of those things. So our next matchup now is JBL versus Booker T for the WWE Championship, and if JBL loses, he will walk out of WWE. We all know who's going to win this one. So we just had Booker T versus JBL, and yeah, this was a foregone conclusion. JBL wins, lol. This was a fun matchup. It was entertaining. It didn't really play into a match. It was just a match, basically. JBL would retain, go on to Armageddon in the Fatal 4-Way between himself, Booker, Eddie, and Undertaker. So yeah, this was just a means to the end, just to set up that match. But Booker, Booker being in the match was a really good one. It's Booker JBL. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was indifferent, in my opinion, but it was a fun one nonetheless. So our main event is the Raw Men's Survivor Series matchup. It is Team Orton, Maven, Chris Jericho, and the 2004 Royal Rumble winner versus Triple H, Gene Snitsky, Edge, and Batista. Let's get to this main event. So we just had the Raw Men's Survivor Series matchup. It was, like I said, Team Orton versus Team Triple H. So this was entertaining. This was a fun matchup. And yeah, it was weird. So as I said roughly around the beginning, the winner of this would be able to control Raw for 4 weeks. So each winner would get a week of Raw to control as they see fit. Obviously, everybody wanted to go for the world title because it's Triple H. Duh. So, our first eliminatee was the 2004 Royal Rumble winner after being eliminated by Edge. Batista then eliminated Jericho. Gene Snitsky was disqualified after Maven came back and Snitsky used the steel chair. Maven was eliminated by Triple H. Jericho was eliminated by Edge, and then Edge and Triple H was eliminated by Randy Orton because he was the sole survivor of his team, and that would happen, I think, twice in a row, or 3 times, I can't remember, I think it's twice, and Randy Orton is also a survivor. I like this matchup. I actually prefer the SmackDown Survivor Series matchup a little bit more because it was quick and to the point. This is the main event, obviously, but this really does feel like it should have been a SmackDown heavy pay-per-view, but we do have Armageddon, which is the next pay-per-view, which is the SmackDown pay-per-view after Survivor Series. But this was fun. It was entertaining. good couple of hours chill time. If you want to watch it, it's on Netflix, and I'm sure it'll be on YouTube by at any point. But yeah, this was fun. It was really good. It was a great showing. So with that being said, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Classic Wrestling Series. I will be back next week with season 4 episode 18, and we will be back for Resident Evil 8 with the penultimate episode tomorrow. So with that being said, TTFN, ta-ta for now.